One of the key things about why we do tree coring work is that you can't tell how old a tree is from the outside. Each year a tree puts on one ring, and so if you count those rings, you have a minimum age for the tree. And I say minimum because, especially with these old trees, they tend to have rot pockets in them. They're often hollow. My name is Bob Brett. I'm with Snowline Ecological Research. I'm a forest ecologist with a master's in forest ecology from UBC. The first thing I do is decide where to core the tree, so I figure I will get the best estimate. The lower I can go on the tree, the better, because the lower down, then there will be more rings. I core in, pull out the sample, store it in a plastic straw for a safe transport back to the lab, pull the borer back out. Luckily with these, they grow fast when they're young. You can see how the rings are fairly wide spaced, so I will feel pretty comfortable getting it within 20 years, if not 10. Then measure the diameter at breast height, which is the standard all forest ecologists and foresters use. Sometimes it's below core height, sometimes it's above.
And core height is 126.
The overwhelming impression that I have is that the trees are many of these big trees are much, much older than I would have expected. And not only that, there's quite a lot of the forest in this area is not just one age where there's 100-year-old trees. We have there's obviously 100-year-old trees from past logging history and some past fires, but there's also 300-year-old trees, 400-year-old trees, 600-year-old trees. So even though the trees can look fairly similar, there's a lot of age diversity, and this is the sort of thing you expect in old growth forests. And old growth forests, as we know, are very limited on the Sunshine Coast. They're far too rare. Less than 3% is protected on the whole Sunshine Coast. An area like this is 2,000 hectares is in the park area proposal, and this is some of the only remaining forest that has these old tree components in it. And in all cases, they are the best representation of old forests on the Sunshine Coast that I know of anyway. And an opportunity for something that is termed a recruitment forest in areas that have some of these more on the younger side. Because if you want to have old trees in the future, old forests in the future, you need to protect the oldest examples. And 100, 200 years from now, those are full old growth.